creative peeps, and welcome to Creative Week 67. I started out this week by taking my pirate journal to the beach, because where else would you take a pirate journal, right, but to the ocean. So I just laid there for a couple hours after work reading and journaling, and it was lots of fun. I also had a sandwich, but I was too hungry to take a photo, a video of it before I ate, so that's that. I do apologize in advance for any extra background noise. My dad is taking down trees outside, and I have the monitor from my grandmother's room so that I can keep an eye on her, and the dog is in here, so who knows what's going to happen in the background, but we're going to have lots of fun anyway. So I started out by working in my pirate journal. I'm working very hard to keep with my One Book July challenge of using my stickers. And funny enough, now that there's only one sticker left on that sheet, I cannot find that sheet. It's gone. It evaporated. I don't know what happened to it, and I'm a little upset because I was going to have the satisfaction of using up an entire sheet. But anyway, so I'm just documenting a photo of me at the beach. You can see my sandwich there. I did manage to take a photo. And it was so good. One of the markets by my work and the beach sells homemade sandwiches, and they have caprices or caprices or however you say it. But I'm obsessed, and I try to get at least a couple a season, so love that. So I was documenting that, and then earlier that day I had taken a photo of me drinking my giant iced coffee. I don't usually drink iced coffee, but it has been in the 90s all week with insane humidity, and the thought of drinking hot coffee was absolutely unbearable. So there I am cleaning a hotel room and taking a selfie drinking my coffee, because what else do you do at work, right? Just kidding. I work very hard. I really do. But anyway, I'm stickers again, using those stickers. These are some stars that you would have seen in last week's Creative Week video. If you missed it, I will pop a card up so you can go watch that. But I had a little mini Michael's haul to buy more stickers, of course. So there's that. And then I'm using these letter stickers to spell out work, because it's a work selfie. And I took my Stabilo pencil, which I have not used in like eternity, like forever, and kind of put a drop shadow on those letter stickers. So that was pretty fun. I was pretty happy with that. And then I wanted to work on some journals this week that I'm hoping to put in Etsy. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to get done, but I'm working on it. So usually I coffee dye some of the scrapbook paper because I don't like the white backs, because you can't really put color on them. I don't know. So I pre-colored them. Anyway, I was going to tea dye them, but the theme that I'm going with had blue went better. So I took a bunch of India ink in this spray bottle, and I just sprayed the backs of the papers blue. So essentially coffee dyed them with blue India ink, and I used India ink because India ink is permanent, so it won't run. I could have used like dilutions or something, but that will reactivate when you wet it. So I had lots of fun with that, and then I decided to try doing some drops. So I had a kind of green metallic-y type India ink, so I just put some drops on the paper and then sprayed it. And you can see from the photo that some of the papers reacted really well and others of them not so much. But it gives a really cool effect, and I'm excited to make pockets and stuff out of them and cut them down to size and see how they look in the journal. So stay tuned. And then I really wanted to show you guys how I did the cluster on the front of my pirate journal to make the pocket. So first I just took a piece of canvas and measured it to the size of the front of my notebook. I tried to make the one on mine is smaller, like narrower, which I wouldn't recommend. I would definitely make it the size of the front cover. And then I took just a scrap of garment bag that I used to wash my delicates in, but the zipper broke, so I just cut that apart. And then I have a iron-on applique of this pirate ship, and I used various scraps of textiles and some blue lace and stuff, and I made a little collage under the pirate ship to make it look like it was sailing in the ocean. And I really like how this came out. So I took it over to the sewing machine, and what I did was I sewed the cluster together first, and then I will take the sewn cluster and sew it on to the pocket itself. And while I was doing this, my bobbin ran out of thread, so hold the phone, gotta fix that. And now we're back in business. So I sewed the cluster onto the pocket. Then I took my little skull embellishment thing there, and I want to sew that on. A lot of the footage is gone because I wasn't on camera. Go Leanne. But basically, you just kind of stitch around the crossbones to hold it onto place. There's no like special technique for it. I just go crisscross for as many times as I feel like it needs to be crisscrossed and call it a day. So I did that to make it all nice and secure. And then I sewed just one quick strip along the top because obviously that part's going to be open, but I wanted the mesh to stay down. So, and then I sewed it on around the three sides, and it makes an awesome pocket for your pens and stuff. I don't worry if it kind of bunches a little because that will create the extra room for the pocket that you need. And I also go around twice. So I go over it and then I go over it again because I'm a messy stitcher, and it just makes the messy stitching look intentional rather than like just messy, if you catch my drift. So yeah, and then now all that stitching is just inside the journal. So I'm going to take this piece of scrapbook paper and glue it on the inside to finish it off. Cut the excess mesh stuff there. But yeah, really like this technique. I'm loving these soft cover journals. I'm hoping to bring a couple soft covers to the Etsy shop this round, so hopefully you guys are interested in that. If not, I'll just have a bunch to keep for myself, which is fine with me. I mean, I need more journals, like I need a hole in the head, but you know. Oh well. So yeah, that's the little thing there. And then I took myself outside. It was literally like 100 degrees, so I could only be out there for like half an hour, which kind of sucks. But I was doing some swatches for a blog post on Patreon. I did a blog post about my watercolor collection for my patrons. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So just did some swatches in the sun using some of my watercolor sets, and that's the chair I usually lay to read in case you wanted to know that. And then while I was swatching some of my Peerless watercolors, which I, let's be real, like never use ever, I realized that I needed to replace some of the cards on there. So this is just a palette that I made myself. I do have one that was made by Pam from Little Magical Art. She's not really making videos anymore, and she doesn't have an Etsy shop anymore, but when she did, she sold these palettes, and I have one by her, which could I find? Nope, no idea where it is. Actually, it might be in my original journey thing. Oh, I should look, but I don't want to get up. But anyway, I just peeled the cards off that I needed to replace, and then cut pieces out of the cards to put down. I really personally don't recommend these watercolors. If you're just looking to mess around with something new, then sure, but some of the cards don't actually have a lot of color on them, especially the blues, which are my favorite, so it's kind of like a big downer for me, but I have them, so I'm going to use the ones that I do have. I just would not repurchase them. So then I wanted to find somewhere to put the old card pieces because they're like swatches and they're color and like, hello, yum. So I was just testing to see if there was any color at all left on the squares, and there really wasn't, so I just was like, whatever, and stuck them there. So now they're just going to be a background for something. And then this is a clip of bybun's Lunar advertisement for her Lunar class. So this footage is not mine, but I purchased her Lunar class and I love it. I completed phase 1 this week. There are some shots of my work in progress, but I try not to show you guys a lot of it because obviously it is a class that you pay for, and I don't want to tread on anybody's toes or give away, you know, her techniques and stuff. So I had a lot of fun with that. I will leave her trailer and channel linked below so you can check her out. bybun is awesome. So anyway, wrapping up this week with, this is my little, what do I call this? My journal tracking card, I guess you could say. Each month I take the printable from Courtney Diaz Little Raven Ink. I am one of her patrons, and I use her printable calendar every month that she gives her patrons to keep track of which days I make journal entries on. So I just circled the day that I write an entry on, and she had a zebra this month for, I believe she did it for a lady with cancer in mind, but while the zebra is very cute, my amazing pen pal Jamie sent me this, like, she like reads my mind, I swear, like, or stalks my Instagram wish list or whatever. There really isn't such a thing, but I really wanted one of these stickers and she sent it to me because she's amazing and somehow she knew. So thank you so much, Jamie, for that. Her packages blow me away, seriously, like, oh boy. And then I just took my Sharpie paint pen and kind of made a border around that, and it's paper clipped in the front of my journal. Then finally I had some photos from earlier that I hadn't journaled. This is my Hoard It journal. If you have not seen a flip of it, I will leave it linked above in a card thing so you can check it out. But basically it's just a bunch of ephemera and stuff that I love, mostly stuff people have sent me. And I really need to get on using stuff out of that because it's like jam-packed full, and all the time I find more things that I want to put in it. So in the spirit of that, I pulled out this guest check to document this bomb diggity lunch that I had. I'm pretty sure I had this lunch in June, but we're putting it in July because it don't freaking matter. But anyway, it was at this place called Windjammers, and so I wrote jammers in these letter stickers. But anyway, it was Alfredo with bacon and spinach and bay scallops, and it was just like, so good. And of course I had a side Caesar salad, no croutons dressing on the side with it, and a giant no salt margarita, and it was just a fantastic lunch and I really enjoyed it. So thank you to my Aunt Jeannie for taking me out to get it, and thank you to the people at Windjammers for being freaking amazing and making delicious food. So I'm gonna journal about my food on the back of that later. And then I just have a picture of me sunbathing with my new book that I'm reading. I started it on July 1st, so I just put that there, and I'm going to put a date stamp, and I'm using another sticker. See, we're doing good. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, just journaled about that. If you want to follow me on Goodreads, it's in the description box below, so you can check out what I'm reading. Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me and allowing me to have better editing software so I can do things like that and bring you guys free content. Give me a thumbs up and